Hello, Vedagavia here, and welcome to this Minecraft 1.12 Flying Machine Blaze Farm tutorial. Flying Machine Blaze Farm tutorial, that sounds something that, doesn't it? But actually, this is a fairly simple as far as farms in the nether go. Really cool and survival-friendly blaze farm that you can build fairly early in your own world. It's built on a flying machine that I first saw on GnembonMC's sugarcane farm tutorial. There's a link in the description to this video, but I think you can correct me in the comments if you're wrong, if I'm wrong even. I think that it was Ilmango that originally came up with the idea for the flying machine. So let's have a look at this flying machine first of all. It's very easy to build. You will need to have an obsidian pillar like this or some other immobile block such as furnaces. Place a sticky piston like that, and then 3 slime blocks like that. Break one and place an observer over there. Then you can break that block too. Now we need to do exactly the same thing but on the other, in the reverse so to speak. So you place 3 slime blocks like that, break that one, an observer like that, and off it goes. Oh yeah, so it's handy. It's handy if you have another obsidian pillar as well. And now we can have this thing go backwards and forwards like this. All we need to do is we need to give this back observer an update. For instance, we can do that like this. We can just also place a block or something like that. But in our case, what we want to do is we want to automate this process. And so for that we need to have a turning around device here and over on the other side, and the way to build it is like this. So to build this turning around station, you need to remove the below block of this obsidian pillar, place another block to the side of it. You can actually place it on either side, I think. Then you place a repeater on 4 ticks facing out from that block, and a redstone lamp underneath the block like that. Okay, now that's the first part. The next part is that we need to add another observer, and I'll explain why in a second. So you place that like that, so that faces into this piston. So when the flying machine comes here, this observer will get an update from that piston, and that will send power to this block, and that will in turn power this repeater. Now I forgot a thing, and that is that you have to have a lever and turn it off, or on, sorry, which turns this repeater off. So let's see this in action. Oops. Now the final thing to note, and why this flying machine is shiny, is because it's so small that you can actually place up to 9 slime blocks on either side here. I'm just going to show it with a couple. And they will just follow along, like that. And there you have something that can push mobs around. Okay, so that's really the most important thing about this farm, but I will of course show you how to build the actual farm as well, and how to install this flying machine into the farm. So let's go and have a look at that. Okay, well there are many things you need to think about when you start a farm like this. The first thing you need to think about is that you need to find a blaze spawner. I have one behind me here. And then you need to somehow clear out an area around it. Now there are many ways to do that. I prefer the explosive way. Yep, that is cool. So then all you need to do is clear out some lava that's been left over, and make sure of course that your spawner is okay. And it is in this case. Right, once that is sorted out, the next step is to disable the spawner. Now blaze spawners have this little thing going on where blazes can spawn up to 1 block below them and 2 blocks above them, like that. And so you need to fill in an area that is that big, and you so this is where our roof is going to come later on, and you would do well to keep the center pillar where the spawner is something transparent. So I usually use glass, whereas I would use something like netherrack for the other blocks, because you want to be able to remove them quickly once you want to start using your farm. So then basically we need to go out 3 blocks really, but I usually go out the 4th block, because on the other side here is where the far wall is going to be of our spawner. And that is because while mobs can spawn up to 3 blocks away from the spawner, they can spawn on up to half of this block as well. So that if there's a wall here, those spawn attempts will be failed. So you always want to go a 4x4 area around your spawner. Okay, once you have this 9x9 by 4 area encapsulated, you need to start putting a roof and some walls on it. You can use any material you want for the roof, but the walls are a little bit special. And that's because we're going to have the flying machine over there. So we need to think about how to sort of make the walls be intact, and so that the flying machine doesn't try and pull the walls along with it. And so for that purpose we're going to use, for part of the walls anyway, we're going to use an immobile block. And there are many immobile blocks. The most interesting one really is the Glazed Terracotta blocks, because they are new and now in 1.12. So they're a nice addition to the game that is going to be interesting to use in many different places. But before we come to them, I will tell you this, right? You need to go down for your area here, your 4 high area. And then as you can see here, there is 1 block to the spawner. So you need to go down another 5 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that in total you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocks to the bottom. And then this is where our floor level is going to come, on the block below that. So this is going to be our floor. And the reason for that is that you want the blazes to spawn in this area and then fall down to this height, because at this height they're out of the area that influences whether or not the spawner can spawn new blazes. And so they're out of the way basically. And that means that our flying machine is going to come on this height. That in turn means that on this block and on this block and along the front and along the back, you need to have immobile blocks. So in this case we're going to try and just chuck in some of these blocks here and some of these blocks here. This also holds true for the edges. So on the edge here you need to have a non-sticky block, and the same goes for this edge here. So we can just bring the glass down. Okay, so when you're done, you have something that looks like this. Now, I've taken out on one side the bottom part of these terracotta blocks, and that is because you need to decide now what is going to be the front and what is going to be the back of your farm. And in this case, this is going to be the front of our farm, so this is where the blazes are going to get pushed down. And they're going to stand in this 2-block area, and we're going to see their feet. So we're going to have our head level there. So that means that on that block is what we're going to stand and have our feet. So let's see if I can get to there. So we're going to stand here and kill our blazes. Now that is in effect 1, 2, 3 blocks underneath the bottom of the farm. And we can go ahead and take out the blocks here as well, because this on this height, on our foot height, is where we're going to have some hoppers and some stuff like that as well to gather up the loots. So the idea here is actually on this level we're going to have hoppers. So we need to build out a little bit more here, and then let's see if we can have some hoppers, please. So the hoppers are going to lead into the chest. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This should be the center. Into a chest here. So we can just put a hopper there for now. You just put hoppers all the way, through here to the end of the farm. Now, what we want to do next is we want to have, because remember I said the blazes are going to stand on this block. So we want to have hopper minecarts all the way here that we then are going to cover up. So I'm going to show you how to install one and then you get to repeat the rest yourself. So we need a normal rail and a minecart with a hopper, and then we need any concrete powder, and I think sand will do nicely as well. In the theme of what I'm uploaded so far, let's go for light gray. Okay, and the way to install these is you shift click, place down the rail, place down the hopper minecart, and then you go to the side of it and take away the rail. This hopper minecart slides down a little bit. Then you put annual block here, and then you put your concrete powder on the block above, like that. And the block goes down into the hopper minecart and hides it. But we can throw things now onto here, and they'll end up over here. Okay, when you're done, you should have something that looks like this. And of course you can cap this off on the outside to prevent any chance that the minecarts escape. But you should be able to throw any number of items here, and they should end up in the chest here, which I can't open, I'm realizing now. That's that. Now it's time to build the flying machine, and there are a couple of things to think about, okay? So first of all, on this side, we need the entire flying machine to go to at least this block. And after some maths that I did all by my lonesome, come to the conclusion that you need to go 4 blocks out, and this is where your obsidian block should go. And I put the obsidian block on the 4th block, so not exactly in the center. That's just because I want to have it centered over here. Now on this side, the edge of the flying machine needs to reach, sorry, the far edge of the flying machine needs to reach at least this block here. And so we go in the middle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At least back to here. So I would recommend building it on this block here. So that's that. So then we go ahead and build the turning stations like that. We're doing the same exact thing that we did in the beginning. So we have a block there, and then I need some redstone stuff. So we need torches, and we need repeater and lever. Okay, so torch go not there, there. Repeater goes here on 4 ticks, and lever goes here. And we should turn that off at the moment so that it doesn't run away from us and turn and start being weird. And then we do the same thing over here. Right, so now we're going to build the flying machine, and at this point in time it's starting to get a little bit crammed around here. So this is it can be kind of a little bit annoying. But the way to think about it is that you can put some blocks here, by the way. The way to think about it is that the piston facing away from this turning station is going to meet this observer. So we start by placing that. And then we go 3 slime blocks like we did before. Need some more pistons here to so I have somewhere to stand. And then we place the observer. And that's that side down. And now the other piston is going to face that block. So we need to build it on this side. So we just go like that, and then we should be able to place the observer against that repeater. There we go. It should now bounce back, I think, because I left that in its bouncy back state. So that's a good test to see that it works as well. We can turn this on as well, and it should now bounce back again. And we have a working flying machine in our farm. We can remove these pistons. Here, it's time to add the sweeping arms. So we can just go blocks like that, leave 1 gap, like that, and then place a piece of glass here. And that should be it. Let's try it out. So, finally, we need to secure this area a little bit, right? We want to stand here, and we only want to see the feet of the blazes. So we need to have blocks on this level here, going all the way through like this. And, well, you can use any block here actually, but on the row above you again have to use non-sticky blocks, because this is going to touch the flying machine. So I just use non-sticky blocks all the way through instead. So like that. So this is now where we're standing. We need to cap it off, of course, at the ends as well. And the other end, like so. And then it's practically done, right? But you need to be a little bit careful with this farm, so that when you go up and down here, maybe to turn this on and off, that the blazes don't spot you. So I prefer to just encapsulate this area as well. That way you can approach the farm from above and you can have a look at it, and it's kind of you know, a good fun thing to do. So I just usually put blocks like this. There is one final thing we need to do, and that's to activate the spawner, and I'll show you the easiest way to do that. We need to break this block, the glass block here, and that's the one that is going to take the most time. The netherrack is going to be really quick to break with a normal pickaxe. That means you can get out of the farm quicker. However, because we're in survival, we need to have somewhere to go. So I'll just place a block there, and that should be good. So from now on, things can actually spawn in here. So you should be, rightly, a little bit concerned. I would highly recommend you have a fire resistance potion when you do this. It's very, very nice. However, the blazes will still damage you, especially if they spawn on top of you. They seem to have some sort of knockback effect, which gives you a fair amount of damage actually. So bear that in mind. I think I'm actually in peaceful here, so otherwise there would have been blazes all over the place, all around me by now. So this is the most horrible part of activating the farm, or of building this farm really, and you will likely die once or twice while doing this. Just make sure, if you're unsure, just make sure to block that off so they can't escape. Okay, so to use this farm effectively, you need a good sword, and you need a sword with sweeping edge 3. That's actually the most important thing. But you can also do well with the looting 3, so you get more blaze rods. They're very good as fuel and also needed for potions and so on. And of course, if you have mending on your sword, it will last you forever, because it'll be repaired by the experience that the blazes drop. And you should know that blazes drop more experience than most other mobs. They drop twice the amount of experience, to be exact. So with that said, we have our sword. Let's go to game mode 0 and let's turn difficulty to hard and have a look. So immediately they start spawning. So now we need to turn on our flying machine and have a look at them. As you can see, when they hit the far edge there, they take a bit of damage, but they never reach the outside of the farm. And they all end up down here. And so all we do to use this farm really is we go around with our sword like this and kill them. And actually, it only takes 3 hits with the sweeping edge 3 sword to kill them, even if they don't get a direct hit. So that is very, very nice. Now the thing with this farm is, the drawback with this farm is that we don't gather the mobs in one spot, we gather them in 9 spots. Now that is bad because you have to walk a little bit, but what you can do is you can AFK, and then you can go here and just kill them all in one go, and then AFK some more. And the good thing about the fact that we have 9 spots here is that we can have up to 9 times 24 mobs waiting for us in this farm at once. And that's a lot of mobs. And as you can see, we get the loot down here, and we get the experience, and all is well with the world. So there you have it, guys. The flying machine blaze farm for Minecraft 1.12. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment, tell me how you fared when building this thing yourself. And consider subscribing to my channel. I have a lot of different types of videos going on, most of them Minecraft related, but not all. And some of them are technical like this one, but I also do Let's Plays, and I do a lot of building tutorials as well. So with that said, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!